All right, y'all, today we got American schools are making kids violent. You know, I've been out of school for a long time now, but one thing that I think has been consistent across the board is there's always gonna be school fights in some way, shape, or form. With that being said, I'm kind of curious to see how things are panning out now, because I remember when I was in school, school fights was kind of like a special random day. Like, it wasn't happening very often, but when they did, you know, everybody's popping out to go see what's going on. Or maybe this video isn't just talking about school fights, but it's also just breathing a culture of like YNs and shit. But let's get right into the video and see what it's talking about. Make sure you guys tap into the Twitch streams. That's Whereyouatberto. The link to that will be in the description. I want to see y'all there, man. Pull up. Let's get right into the video. Come on.
Where you at, Berto?
I made this shit look sweet.
Back in high school or middle school, I remember one of the greatest experiences of all time was taking a sick day. Well, that was until I realized I missed out on some of the greatest experiences ever witnessed by mankind. For example, either the most random music artist would show up on campus, give a performance, or the craziest Royal Rumble, WWE, UFC type of fight took place, and I missed out on somebody getting smashed by a chair in a cage match or something. And don't get me wrong, it was bad that I missed out, but the worst part isn't even the fact that I missed out on the action, it's the fact that I had to watch the footage back on the worst, most...
Bro, that shit is always funny to me how everyone's fucking phone is out when a school fight's going on, but nobody is actually recording the fight. It's like y'all recording, like, it's like you're looking with your eyes, but your phone is all over the damn place. Like, I never understood that, bro. That is so true.
Pixelated device I have ever imagined.
Facts! And so nobody got a clear phone?
And it looked like somebody brought their smart TV from their home, a toaster oven, or a goddamn iPod Nano and recorded it. But looking back at it in hindsight, at the firm old age as I am now of 22 years old, I'm thinking back...
Firm old age 22. Hala, don't piss me off, man. 22 is a firm old age? Shut the fuck up.
Like, bro, there was low-key a lot of fights, okay? Almost too many. But if I thought it was bad back then, it's getting really, really bad right now. Would you believe me if I told you that actually school fights, school incidents, or school violence has been on an increase of about 300%? According to this article I discovered right here, the number of violent incidents has increased more than 300% from the first year of data collection in 2016 to 2017 to the most recent school year in 2023 to 2024. And then for more context, violent incidents in schools appear to have declined from 2023 to 2024. However, when false reports such as swatting are removed from calculations, there's an actual increase of 49% in number of violent incidents in 2023 to 2024 when compared to the previous year. But 49% is quite a lot. Incidents related to violence and posing the most critical risk for students increased 22% during the 23 to 24 school year. Of these incidents posing the most critical risk, 13% involved a weapon or threat of a deadly weapon. Incidents related to violence increased 21% for elementary, 14% for middle school, and 20% among high school. So this is all across the board, okay? Your little cousin Tommy, your little cousin Timmy in elementary school was like 5, 6, 7 years old. He might be getting it on. He might be a little pipsqueak, a squirt, somebody that you can stuff inside of a toilet and give a swirly, but he's out here getting active in elementary school fighting other students. Same goes for middle school and high school as well. I actually would have thought high school was the highest percentage, but having elementary being the highest percentage kind of makes sense a little bit because elementary school students probably deal with their emotions in the worst way possible and probably don't know how to self-regulate.
Facts, they just gonna, hey, what'd you say? On site, nigga, let's go.
Especially if they have some lackluster millennial parents. I'm sorry. 11.6% increase in weapons were found on school grounds. 2,275 different weapon incidents were reported by the Washington's public-private schools. Other reports involved knives, daggers, or other weapons. Besides just looking at the statistics, of course, they're going to be extremely alarming. But usually when I see statistics, I always think, okay, is it just a stat? Is it something that we've experienced? Bro, there are entire compilations of school fights that I damn near see every single day, like school crash outs, whether that's the teacher crashing out on the students crashing out on the teachers.
I feel bad for them teachers, man. Them teachers be dealing. Y'all don't get paid. Teachers don't get paid enough to deal with kids, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Teachers need to be some of the most highest paid in the world, bro. Because the way that kids just be mean, entitled, and nasty, bro. Them teachers don't get paid enough for that.
Or the students fighting each other. There is always something going down. As a matter of fact, there are entire sections in Discords that are labeled school fights that showcase some of the chaotic events that happen within those walls that we know as school. As a matter of fact, I don't even have to go to very far on Discord. Literally in my very own Discord server. And immediately on site, another example.
Oh my God. They did not just fucking do that to the teacher, bro. Hell no.
That is definitely not getting showed. What type of goofy fight is this, bro? Bro, y'all are better off just holding hands.
The motherfucker hit the Popeyes pose on him. Hell nah. That's funny.
Making up, bro. See, this almost looks like they were fighting for fun. Back in my school, there was events. People would just do slap boxes during.
Yep. I remember it was on site. We actually used to have a thing called Ranger Wars back in like middle school, where it was like it was like on site. If you seen somebody from the other clique, you had to go into the bathroom and square up. But it was all slap boxing though.
Lunchtime just for fun, for the fun of it, bro. You're risking getting suspended, expelled, injured, or just straight up getting exposed.
It builds character though, and it doesn't teach you how to fight, but at least kind of puts you in from a young age to kind of like, hey, I'm willing to defend myself. I ain't gonna lie, I feel like it builds character.
For taking an L on Snapchat or Instagram stories. But besides just straight up fighting videos, I remember seeing videos of people throwing Chromebooks, people arguing with teachers, people throwing chairs.
No.
And other crazy violence.
Bro. I can only imagine myself as a teacher, like on some real shit. I probably go to jail, bro. Because it's like, ain't no way a little kid gonna disrespect me like that. You throwing a chair? Your parents need to bust your ass. Bro, imagine getting called into the school office. Principal sits you down, your mama right next to you, and she's like, do you know why you're here? Why your son is here today, ma'am? She can be like, no, what did you do? He picked up a chair and threw it at the teacher. You know how bad of an ass whooping I would receive, bro? My mom probably pick up a chair and throw it at my cheek.
Behavior within those school walls. There still is a lot of bullying going on. Contrary to popular belief, sometimes I heard that people don't believe in bullying, or matter of fact, even worse, people are saying we need to bring back bullying. Like, no, we don't, bro. I'm about to show you a couple clips that really show and put bullying into perspective.
Quaden was bullied almost every single day for being different, and it got so bad to the point where he doesn't want to live anymore.
No.
Look, I'm gonna come to your lunch, okay? I'm gonna come to your lunch.
There are actually so many kids who genuinely fear going to school because they feel like they're risking their life and putting their safety on the line just because they're existing and being themselves among the classroom. You don't understand. If you look different, if you seem different, especially if you're special ed or you're on the spectrum, people will make fun of you for the way you laugh, the way you look, the way you talk, the way you act, the way you breathe. There is so much ableism going on with.
I remember I had a kid in my class. His name was Eddie, I believe. And bro, this nigga had trigger words. Like, he obviously was like special needs of some kind, but I forget exactly what the trigger word was, but let's just say it was red. You know, everyone knew that if you said red, like, he would start tweaking. And I just remember like people would literally be in the back of the class and he was kind of sitting more in the middle and niggas would just be like, red. And then you just see him kind of like, stop it. And then one day he got so fucking pissed when a nigga said red. The nigga stood up. He literally stood up and just started punching the desk and was just like, stop it. Ah! It was crazy. It was literally insane. Like the security guards that be driving around in the golf cart, they had to come drag him out the class, bro. Again, they was bullying him and they was laughing and shit. You know, I wasn't laughing. I always thought that shit was lame, but it's like, you know, it's just sad to see, bro. That bullying shit's so lame.
More information or statistics around the concept of bullying, in case you thought that bullying might have died down or bullying is not as bad as it used to be. From July 2021 to December 2023, 34% of teenagers were bullied in the last 12 months. Rounding down, that's about 3 out of 10 students experiencing bullying. And if that's the case, how many kids are actually being the perpetrators of bullying? It's also important to note that if you were gay or you were transgender, you were much more likely to be bullied at 47%. White, non-Hispanic teenagers were more likely to be bullied compared to teenagers in other racial groups. Teenagers with disabilities, as I said before, 44%. 19% of students reported being bullied during the 2021 to 2022 school year. Among students who reported being bullied, 14% of males and 28% of females reported being bullied online or by text. So number one, first things first, I want to say this 19% is actually probably a lot higher, because you know how many people are actually getting bullied and don't want to report it because they don't want to seem soft or they don't want to get other people involved. Oftentimes when you're a victim of really any type of harmful experience that feels like you're threatening
I'll say this. I don't think bullying's cool, but I do think no matter what, kids are just mean, bro. Kids are just mean, and You know, sometimes when you're young, you need somebody to kind of like test your insecurities to kind of push you to develop. So again, I'm not saying bullying is needed, obviously not, but at the same time, like I just think in life, it's kind of like a canon event that we all have gone through, and hopefully you're able to navigate it correctly. But the difference is like earlier when we talking about like the special needs kids, like that for me is just like so off limits. It's just like there's never a reason where it's like they not even, I don't know, bro. That's just so lame.
Your safety and potentially even putting yourself in more danger by reporting these bullies, because let's face it, bro, a lot of times when you do report a bully, what really happens? Do they get expelled? Do they get suspended? I don't know. They probably get a slap on the wrist, and then you won't see that same big obnoxious bully the next day in school. Okay, he might take it out on you even worse, or she. And then another thing that's interesting is they reported being bullied online or by text. That's one thing I feel like is more of an issue within today's day, because we're in the digital age. I mean, nowadays it's very, very easy to just send somebody some slurs online, send somebody some hate, spam them, tell their friends to also spam them. Like, I imagine how
I remember my not high school, but my middle school, they had a Facebook page where they would just post a picture of your ass and a big ass paragraph just talking shit. And then another thing that they would do is they would have like say they put me on one side, they put Berto on one side and another nigga on one side, and just be like the pros and cons. Like, it was just nasty, bro. The cyberbullying that I remember that used to happen back when I was in fucking middle school was crazy. Niggas had literal pages comparison, fucking putting hoes next to each other, saying who's badder, who's uglier. Like, it was just toxic as fuck. But the crazy thing is, the whole school was tapping in, commenting, liking, and sharing and stuff. Obviously, eventually the school actually found out about it and they got it shut down. But bro, kids just be evil. Like, who's thought of that?
cyberbullying has gotten really, really bad and out of hand, especially when a lot of kids are given unsupervised access to technology. I mean, kids are on TikTok, Discord, social media, anything you can think of. They're all there. They're watching the most crazy videos. I mean, back in the day, bro, the first person to show me adult content was a kid in middle school. The first person to show me a cartel video was also a kid in middle school. Brief admission, if you're enjoying the video so far, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 200,000 subscribers. Also, make sure we're on the road to 200,000.
Go check them out.
There are so many kids who report on bullying or who did get bullied, and we know about bullying. I mean, we all went through that time in school where we got some type of assembly that talked about bullying. But the truth is, teachers only intervene in about 14% of classroom bullying. That statistic shows right here, and says only 14% of playground episodes of bullying. School staff is generally unaware of the extent of bullying and victimization problems, even though much of bullying occurs on the playground, hallways, classrooms, locker rooms. I think kids who are bullies are also really good at, hiding it or disguising it around other people, and then they'll go as soon as the freaking teacher doesn't look and then shove you in a locker. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, if you're getting shoved,
yeah, that shit only happens in movies. I have never seen anyone get shoved in a locker. I've never even been in a school that just had like lockers laid out through the hallways. Like, locker was only like a gym thing. Do you in your school, did you have lockers?
in a locker in 2025, I'm gonna look at you a little crazy. That's how bullying only happens in the goddamn movies. Real bullying looks a lot different, okay? Sometimes it's making fun of the way you dress. Sometimes it's making fun of the way you have no money, which was, hey, that happened to me. I mean, have you ever had the experience of dropping your...
Oh, man. You did the lunch table when you ain't got no money. The lunch table when you wear the same shoes. The lunch table when you fucking... Don't let you be a stank nigga and forget to put on some deodorant. They are going to grill your shit. But like I said, that's why I feel like it kind of builds character a little bit.
Your Android phone in the middle of class and your battery coming out, your screen cracked.
I remember being bro, my very first iPhone, I'm not gonna lie, I stole that shit. I remember feeling so insecure and everybody talking shit because I ain't have an iPhone. I just had like one of them slide kind of flip phone type of situations, and then the iPhone 4 came out, and I think that's when everybody kind of started switching over to iPhones. But I couldn't afford the iPhone 4. My parents wasn't gonna buy that for me. I'm not gonna lie to you, boy. I went to the locker room, at the gym, when everybody was kind of out like, doing activities. I told coach I want to go to the bathroom. It's just me by myself in the locker room, my nigga. And hey, I'm self-snitching, and I'm sorry for whoever I took this shit from. I was young, I was dumb, I'm not proud of it. I'm just telling y'all the story, bro. I was going and I was just pulling niggas locks. Cause I knew if you like do the lock and you don't like spin it after and you leave it on the last number, like that shit will still open. And I remember I just popped the nigga lock, took it, like went through his shit, found an iPhone, took that shit, bro. It was bad. It was bad, but I was happy as fuck. And this was before like iPhones had like the Find My Phone and shit, all that. Like literally, I just took his SIM card out, put my SIM card in there, and boom. New iPhone.
And everybody in the class laughing at you. Hey, I know exactly what that feels like. Some of y'all will never know the pain of coming to school with holes in your shoes, clothes, and being like, oh, this is just for the fashion, bro. It's not for the fashion. I'm getting hand-me-downs from my generations. Uncles, cousins, brothers, moms, sisters, dad. A kid coming up to me back in the day telling me, give me your lunch money. Hurts less than...
Bro, I remember being so broke, like, I couldn't even get new shoes. Like, nigga, I've been a size 13 shoe since fucking middle school. But nigga, I remember having to sometimes squeeze into size like 11 and a halves, bro. That's how bad I was at certain points.
Somebody coming up and clowning the fact that I had no money, bro. That is real bullying, I swear. Teachers are only able to accurately identify fewer than 1/2 of bullies identified by peers. Parents are often similarly unaware of the extent of bullying and victimization, and they do not discuss bullying with their children. The way people talk about bullying is a little bit outdated to an extent. Like, I'm telling you, bullying is not just pushing somebody.
Hey, that's some nice books you got over there. Boom.
It's a lot more psychological.
People bully in all types of ways, whether that's online now, which is obviously very, very much impossible to catch if you're a teacher, and different altercations that happen in the natural flow of classroom or passing period between going class to class. Also, when kids are getting bullied, 9 times out of 10, I feel like they're not gonna come out and talk to a damn teacher, okay? I had a friend who was telling me, bro, I tried to talk to a teacher, and the teacher just looked at me crazy. My thought process, I'm like, bro, aren't these teachers supposed to be like mandated reporters? But it really feels like teachers don't really understand, bro, especially if they don't come from the same type of cloth as you. So odds are the children is gonna come out and talk to their parents, but a lot of times, you know, parents will dismiss it.
The teachers always here to be out, don't learn nothing. They don't feed us nothing at lunch.
Why are you talking about these teachers be putting these teachers don't do nothing to you. If you're getting bullied, you need to go talk to somebody about it. You need to go talk to a psychiatrist or something about it. Don't come to me trying to come to me and cry about somebody bullying you. Ain't no dropping out of school. Ain't no
Damn, mom.
dropping out of school. You're gonna stay in school.
I mean, he's tripping trying to drop out, but damn.
Do what you gotta do. No, because I'm paying for the school, so you're gonna stay in the school. I don't care what
You in private school, nigga? She paying for the school?
I don't care.
Ungrateful, that little nigga.
What you in there doing? What you in there doing?
Nothing.
When you leave my house, that's when you can move how you want to move. So then get out. Get out of my house.
And I feel like as a kid, a lot of times if you're not being heard out by your parents, that really shuts you off from talking to anybody else in the rest of the world, because those are the people who are supposed to hear you out the most. And it's so weird. Some people will take the side of the faculty, the staff, or even the bully, because like you don't even know them, bro. That's low-key D-riding, bro. You glaze into somebody you never even met before. Believe your own goddamn kid. Plus, why?
Yeah, but at the same time, like, kids be lying too, though. I think you just need to be a smart parent. Kind of like really listen to your kid's story and be like, does this make sense? And then if, you know, it sounds believable, you do need to conduct your own research, though, because I ain't gonna lie, there's been definitely a few times like where I told my mama some bullshit because I didn't want to get in trouble, and she rode for me. You know what I'm saying? She was like, but it's like I lied though, and I probably really shouldn't have gotten away with it.
Why would I lie about being bullied? I already lose aura from explaining the fact that I'm being bullied. Coming out and saying that you're getting bullied, there's no swag behind that. There's no swag behind that, man. Now that we notice the phenomenon of violence in schools and a very large uprising in school fights, school bullying, etc., I want to talk about why this might be happening. The pandemic took place. Gen Z, we lost out on a crucial maybe like 2 to 3 years. I really feel like since 2020 through about 2023, we really felt the effects of the pandemic. And that was when we were about to graduate high school. Especially for Gen Alpha and kids these days, those 2-3 years were maybe when they were in 5th, 6th, 7th grade, maybe even younger. Those are very, very impactful or important when you're developing social skills.
Yeah, that's crazy to think about, like that whole C-19 era. Like a lot of y'all last couple of years in school was just like in limbo.
Skills, emotional regulation, connection, etc. So the fact that maybe they had bad parents, maybe they were stuck on technology, maybe they didn't learn how to connect with people at a young age, kind of turns them into more unstable people, makes it harder for them to learn how to regulate their emotions, which maybe makes a more angry or violent generation. I think that coupled with the idea of social media, like for example, school fights, people record school fights, people participate in school fights because they go viral, they go so crazy, they want to get that internet fame. If you whoop somebody crazy in school fights, everybody gonna know you as the backyard legend. Maybe I'm looking a little bit too deep, but I feel also like trends such as rage bait kind of exasperate issues of cyberbullying in a way among kids. The other day I seen a grown man talking about CP and saying,
"Oh, chill, bro. It's just rage bait."
Watch out, little bitch. Watch out, little bitch.
Yo, am I finna get a little cut
out of y'all videos. I just got you a million, cuz. Where's my cut? I'm not playing.
And things like that are insane, right? But when kids see stuff like this online, they might go ahead and run off with it, whether that's in people's DMs. I mean, I get the most crazy comments all the time about people calling me a fried chicken and rice enjoyer and things like that because, oh, black and Asian. And I'm just like, bro, so some of these kids are already a little angry, a little bit ruthless, have maybe poor mental health, were heavily disrupted by the effects of the pandemic. Maybe they have bad parents, and they're seeing a lot of social media trends that normalize saying crazy stuff to people that might exacerbate the issues such as cyberbullying or real life bullying. I feel like since the beginning of time, there's also been people who say, oh, like violence and video games are correlated. Maybe if your kid plays violent games or they consume violent media, they're going to become more violent. And I don't know if this was actually proven to be the case. I mean, I played a lot of violent games when I was a kid. I don't think it turned me into a violent person. It showed me that this type of stuff was only meant to be fiction and not real life. But I could see how other people who maybe are not on that same maturity might practice things that they see in the game and do it in real life.
Yeah, but it's like, nigga, if you are playing GTA and like that shit just be dumb, bro. But I think that falls more back on the parents more than anything. Like, if you really playing GTA and thinking that you could do that shit in real life, like, bro, you are fried in the cranium, dude.
Or say things that they see online and do it in real life. And speaking more about what they see in real life, there is definitely things like, oh, community gun violence, maybe gang violence, domestic violence within households that cause kids to replicate that.
Children who witness domestic violence in the home are significantly more likely, in some studies 5 to 10 times more likely, to be the victim of intimate partner violence in their adult relationships or the perpetrator of violence in their adult relationships.
You know what? Recently I've been seeing, oh, kids need to be whooped more these days, or kids are not getting whooped more these days. But actually it's proven that kids being whooped or physically disciplined / punished actually makes a more violent or dangerous.
All right, that is not true. I think obviously if it's an abused, then yeah, but my nigga, I'm telling you, I done learned a lot of life lessons from getting my ass whooped from my mama, boy. That's a very quick, surefire way to make sure it'd be like, oh shit, right is right and wrong is wrong.
Dangerous child.
Researchers found that children who were spanked were more likely to...
I'm not co-signing that. My children is getting built to ass for sure.
...have an increased rate of negative outcomes. This includes antisocial behavior, aggressive behavior, and long-term mental health problems.
Really,
but also, interestingly, children who were spanked were also more likely to exhibit a negative impact on cognitive development.
Yeah, this research had to have been studied in a fucking all-white neighborhood or something.
Demonstrating overall lower IQ scores and overall poorer academic performance.
And it makes sense because low-key, I feel like whooping a kid after they do something bad shows them that violence is the answer, literally. They're gonna grow up subconsciously thinking that, oh, whenever somebody does something bad, the real answer is putting your hands on them because that is what your parents did to you. Another interesting concept is,
I don't know, bro. I think there's a way to do it correctly. You know, communication is also important though. If you're just beating them and not saying nothing and not teaching them and, you know, showing them right from wrong, like, then yeah, I guess I could see how you get that association. But, you know, I think there's a way where you overdo it and it's toxic and it's bad. But then there's a way where it just makes sense.
The lack of faculty and staff within schools. Nowadays, as we know, teachers are not enjoying their time, okay? They're getting into it with the kids. They're arguing with kids. They're experiencing undisciplined, lackluster students, and they don't want to do this job. I'm not gonna lie, if I had kids like this who couldn't read, who couldn't write, and they were just being disrupted in my class, I would be crashing out the same.
I fucking hated teaching. Not all teachers should get paid more. I was high sometimes.
Damn.
Yeah, there was one moment where I was like, this job, I hate this. And one of my students came up to me and he goes, Mr. Yu, what would you do if your son was gay? I was like, I wouldn't care if my son was gay as long as he was like with someone that made him happy and treated him right. And I thought like I taught him a lesson because he stopped and paused for a second and he just goes, that's gay.
With incidents
What the fuck?
like these, among the low pay, there is probably going to be a shortage in faculty, which will lead to more violence on campus because there's just not nearly enough adults to supervise 1,000 more students. I mean, in my high school, they had 2,000 students, and it got to the point where we needed armed security on campus, bro. At the end of the day, all this behavior really...
That sounds like a lot of people. I don't really remember. I know I went to a big high school, so Maybe it was that much, but it's been a minute.
It starts at home. Making sure they're able to regulate their emotions is not the responsibility of a goddamn teacher, okay? If you're a parent watching this video, yo, make sure you lock in on your child. We don't need more violent kids because we are already experiencing that. And it's not just me saying this. I mean, really nowadays, it feels like a lot of parents either don't have time or they straight up don't care. Like, there are times as a grown adult, right, I'll be walking around and I'll see kids who are supposed to be in school and it's like, bro, what are you doing at this time of day? Like, do you not have somewhere to be? And this
Nah, facts. I've seen that a lot too. Like, I don't really know them personally, but I know someone. I'm close to somebody that knows them, and there's like they're a content creator family, and their kids just not in school. Like, they're just at home making content all day, and I don't know how that works. Like, again, I'm a mine, but I remember just kind of talking to it about with them and just being like, yo, bro, like, your kids don't go to school.
is actually a phenomenon that a lot of people online are starting to notice.
Every time I turn around, these kids are not in fucking school. It's like a new made-up fucking holiday every fucking day.
In conclusion, kids are becoming more violent. There's more bullying going around, more damaged goods, more damaged property, which I didn't even really talk about the property, like the Chromebook challenge and things like that. With the violent kids, it feels like parents are kind of giving up in a way. They don't care as much. We're also seeing a drop off and decline in the amount of teachers that are participating or want to take jobs. Social media glamorizing fight culture, violence, school weaponry incidents being on the uprise, and other weird trends that glorify bringing back bullying. It is no surprise that school fights are on the rise and school violence is on the rise. But let me know what you think down below in the comments.
Word, W video from my boy Hala, man. Y'all let me know, man. I know a lot of y'all kind of still in school watching me, so let me know what your opinion is on this. Like, is a lot of this stuff going on? Is it overrated? Is, you know, and I guess it's different for everybody, but at the end of the day, don't be bullying nobody. If you see somebody bullying somebody, you know, call it out, bro. You know, maybe there's a time and place where you really do need to get the authorities involved, get a teacher, and but sometimes, you know, for me, I would just call it out, like, straight up, you know what I'm saying? And you never know, just given that person that's being bullied, that like, oh shit, like, this person just stood up for me, and like how good that can make them feel, and, you know, maybe even boost their confidence. Be like, you know what, I need to start sticking up for myself. I love y'all, appreciate y'all. My name's Berto. Tap into the Twitch streams. That's Where You At Berto. Link in the description, man. Pull up to the Twitch. I'm trying to get to, like, I want to get to the point where I'm averaging like at least 50 viewers congruently through stream. The numbers have been going up. I feel like right now we're averaging like 30, 40. So let's get it up to 50. I want to see y'all there. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Link to that will be in the description. Y'all know where to find me. Peace.
Where you at, Berto?
I made this, yeah, those who we